2 arrows on the string.
That's a different shot.
Hi, it's Todd here from Todd's Workshop and Todd Cutler, and I'm here with David from Blumineck.
Hi.
David speed shoots. I've never done it in my life. I want to learn a bit about it, so we're going to go down the range and you're going to teach me.
Let's get into it.
David's got a bow, we've got a target there. It's only about 10 metres, but that's not what this is about. Take it away.
There's a few different ways that you can speed shoot, but one of the most iconic involves taking multiple arrows in the hand at once and shooting them one after the other downrange at your target.
Well done. Okay, 10 metres, but I don't care. That's accurate shooting. It's lovely to see, actually. I've not seen that before up close. So my understanding is this is very sort of steppes era, so Mongolian, then coming through to Western Europe as well, the fringes of Western Europe. A lot of it is about close shooting. It's about racing down the side of lines. It's about cavalry coming in fast and moving away. Less so about static battleground type stuff.
Yeah, that seems to be mostly what it was for skirmishing and mobility. Riding around past somebody, you can get off multiple arrows in that little bit and then ride off and almost reload, gather a bunch more and be ready to go again. Then that's potentially really useful. But when you're shooting at a longer distance, and I believe the Mongols would often carry multiple bows, they'd have a heavier one for longer distance shooting and a lighter one for these kind of shorter, faster engagements. This particular style is Saracen rather than Mongolian primarily, but similar things. You wouldn't be doing this if your enemy is right at the limits of what you can feasibly hit with your bow. If they're up close, you want to get a bunch of arrows in. There's potentially some value in it.
You're not drawing full. And is that so that you can get the speed up?
There's a couple of things to it. One is sometimes I'm just rushing and it doesn't quite hit that full draw, which is, again, close range, absolutely fine.
That's what I'm figuring, is that if you're going for people's faces, which has got to be a prime target, it really doesn't matter if you're on 3/4 power.
This is a 60-pound draw bow, and it's a heavily recurved thing, so it stacks very early.
Yes,
in the
it
draw.
does actually.
A lot of the kind of horse bows that we used historically would stack very early, so even if I've only drawn it to about here, I've still got
There's plenty of
a
power
lot
in it.
of power in it. Enough at that kind of short range. If I was doing this kind of thing, but at a slightly longer range, I'll maybe take an extra second or so per arrow just to get a bit further back. The other thing that happens, and the other reason why I sometimes go for a slightly shorter draw with these, is when you're shooting very quickly, what you don't want to do is overdraw. For the kind of snap shooting, sometimes
so you don't have to think about
safer to shoot a little bit earlier on.
Lovely. I mean, of those 6 shots there, you've got a grouping saucer sized, something like that. Like I was saying earlier, the face has to be a primary target. And so at 10 metres, yeah, you're absolutely, all of them basically are on somebody's face.
But unpleasant, yeah.
But that's what it's about, because also you're not having to worry about armour then. And,
yes, yeah.
You know, so every arrow is counting.
You get kind of diminishing returns as you move into heavier and heavier bows. You can still do this, and I will still do this sometimes with a 90-pound bow, but it's not as fast, and I will put more effort into just getting a decent amount of draw out of it, and it's still quicker than shooting normally, though.
Yeah, it's time.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a go. So I don't really know what David thinks about me at this point, but he has given me this.
This is one of my training bows.
I'm not sure if I can draw this, David, but we'll have a go.
So the foundation of this is a technique called Slavic draw.
Yep.
And so for Slavic draw, we take an arrow in your draw hand and you hold it resting kind of on your middle finger, cup the other fingers below, and your index sits alongside the arrow, so you're sort of pointing with it. And from there, that should in theory mean that we can bring it onto the bow, and by sliding the string down the thumb, you can kind of guide and cup the string into your lower fingers, and then your index finger is doing sort of what the thumb draw does, which is holding the arrow against the bow so that you don't have the problem of drawing back and doing this.
So the first thing you need to see is it's got an unusual arrow knock on it. It's quite wide, it's splayed apart so that I guess it guides itself onto the string. The other thing is, I don't know how much you can see, is it's sort of propeller shaped almost. Yeah, this is going to take a bit of practice, okay? So the string slides down the side of your thumb and picks up in the knock because of its sort of funnel shape. And that finger there keeps the arrow pressed against the the string.
And what that in theory means is that you can knock your arrow onto the string without actually having to look at what you're doing at all, and you will have some reasonable amount of confidence that it's there.
Just testing that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, all right, I'm in. That's it, lesson over, I'm done. Or not quite.
One thing to bear in mind with this, just because it's coming off your thumb side of the bow rather than the knuckle, is that it can be helpful to do a technique called a khatra on release, which you'll be familiar with from the pellet bows, where you have the bow slightly turned outwards, and it allows the arrow to clear the bow a little bit more smoothly than it otherwise would. Okay. And it also makes it less likely you'll slap your own arm with the string.
Okay, it's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weak bow. We can move up once we've got the hang of it.
I'll tell you what as well though, actually, is it went spectacularly wrong with my fingers. And that is I don't know what to do with my fingers to release the string.
Okay.
So I might sound really stupid, but my thumb is on the inside of the string at the moment. So it's all kind of like a little bit, I don't know, everything's a bit weird.
Thumb and forefinger are great for positioning when you bring it onto the string. Once you start to draw back, they can relax a little bit.
Yeah.
So as I draw, they will slide backwards. The forefinger's just doing a little bit of pressure, but the thumb can either stay here or it can come completely off so that we reach a more extended position in those lower fingers. And then at that point, you can just draw, and then as with any other release style, you just want to continue the draw as you relax.
Right, let's see if I can even get that smoothly. The other thing actually that I've just noticed is they've got 4 fletchings, not 3. So that means you can knock them either way up.
The other way of doing this is to have 2, which are slightly spiralling around the arrow.
Yeah. Right, didn't look. Coming back, do that.
Nice. The important thing to remember when learning a new technique is that you basically go back to square one when it comes to aiming and you become a beginner again. So when I teach things like this, I'm much less, as long as we're safe where we're shooting, I'm much less concerned about somebody hitting the target than I am about them just kind of getting a feel for the technique.
Yeah, get it right first and get it accurate second. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That was a bit fiddly.
Whatever. Great. Okay. I want to go with that.
Okay.
But, yeah. No, you know what? I'm not going to have a go at that yet. I'm just going to practice a little bit more slowly. Yeah. Spectacularly wrong. I think that's where I'm going to fall down, actually. No, it's one of the many places I'm going to fall down. Oh, everything's wrong. Everything's wrong? Well,
that's
no.
Not too bad.
No, that's all right. Yeah.
You just didn't have very many fingers on the string by the end there.
It's a 10-pound bow, we have discovered. It's a 10-pound bow. Yeah. I don't need many fingers on the string. Hey!
Nice!
Yay!
Hey. It's no more humiliating. It's great. It's no more humiliating than if you took me to the forge and got me to make a dagger with very little instruction.
All right. However, I did that without looking, which was interesting. So, yes, that was all done by touch.
Do you want to switch up to a heavier bow?
No, I'm gonna stay with my Christmas cracker comedy job first of all.
Again, we're trying to do months of muscle memory in half an hour or whatever.
Oh, thank you for making me feel better. It's very kind of you.
No,
He's a nice guy, apparently.
I didn't just get out here and just do this in 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
If you start high up, you can slide down until you feel you've hit the tape, which is hard to do at speed, but it gives you a bit more consistency.
Yeah, consistently missing at the moment.
But you're consistently missing in the same place, and that's the same as consistently hitting, but with,
is it?
with a small change in aim.
Okay, that one was high up the string again. That might be, actually I'm going to correct that, that is spectacularly unimpressive. However, I was doing that without looking, which
is a big change when you...
Yeah, it's the start of it. So I've had another dozen shots or so, but something I was really struggling with, still struggling with, is getting the orientation of the knock right. As it goes on, obviously, in that orientation, I don't know if you can see it, it can't go on the string. It has to be round there. Now, these knocks have got a flat portion, and I was really struggling with it, and what I've just discovered, my finger's there, grasping it with the thumb, you can feel it with that finger there. And that tells you if it's even going to go on the string or not. It's not to say that I've got the whole thing nailed, But it does mean I know that it's going to go on the string.
Even if you're not speed shooting, for archery from horseback or things like that, they absolutely needed to be able to get an arrow onto the bow without having to look at it. So
yeah.
Whether you're holding multiple in hand or whether you're taking your time over the shot, you need to be focusing on where you're going right up until the point where you need to make that shot, or you need to be focusing on your target, but you don't want to be looking down.
Hi, we've interrupted this film to remind you that Todd Cutler sells swords. Small ones, big ones, old ones, and modern ones. Well, modern in 1500 anyway. And they all come with beautiful scabbards. Anyway, enough of that, back to the film.
So the next step for this particular style is to slightly change the way that we hold the arrows. So when we take 3 at once, we hold them alongside the top of the index finger. And I'm just using, especially a counterbalance pressure, just enough pressure on my thumb for the weight of the arrow to kind of balance it in place here. Other way around. So the arrows are pointed just slightly offset from where you want it to be shooting. And then when you're ready to shoot one of them, this is fiddly, is you take your index finger, you, with a little bit of help from your other fingers on the back of that arrow, you bring your index finger alongside the first arrow so it's in the position that we were shooting before. And then, in theory, you can do exactly what we just did, slide the string into the nock and shoot that one arrow, ignoring the others, the way we've just shot the others.
I'm lost.
From here to there, with that index alongside, take it onto the string.
Ooh.
And just release the lower fingers to shoot that one. Yes!
All right.
And then you do the same thing again with the next one. So we shoot one, bring that index on, and if you don't quite get the index finger in place, that's what tends to happen, is the arrows fall off the side. But there you go. It's 3 arrows.
Oh dear.
And by this point, you're probably getting a slightly aching thumb and slightly sore fingers.
I do need to try that one again. Goodness me. Here we go. Oh, I'm looking. I'm not allowed to look.
If you need to.
Don't need to. No, no looking, no looking.
Nice.
Not nice.
Slightly too much pressure on the thumb. That's the
wrong arrow. Lovely. It's safe to stand there.
If I jump out of the way quickly. Nice.
Done. Well, 2. Okay. I can understand what you're trying to achieve. I can even sort of, now, I'll probably forget in half an hour, know where to put my fingers and that sort of thing. As ever with any kind of skill like this, is definitely going to be a build-up. But I understand the principles of it. So I'll have another quick go and, just see where we get to. Got 2 arrows on the string.
That's a different shot. Try to push them under your thumb.
Three!
Nice.
I did
that
3.
Was quite quick.
I did it. I actually did it. I'd go as far as to say I have not mastered that skill, but I've learned the basics of what I'm trying to achieve.
Well done.
Fantastic.
That was great.
So I found myself a 50-pound bow. Same technique, basically.
Pretty much.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm shooting quite badly to the right, but I did it.
Yeah,
I did it.
As I've said before, they're consistent.
I understand what I'm trying to achieve. I think that's kind of about all I'm going to get out today. I'm not going to become a fantastic speed shooter. That's not going to happen. But the mysteries of what it is has been solved. So thank you very much for that.
No worries.
But all through this, we've had our knight looking on forlornly from an earlier shoot, and I think he needs a bit of your love, David. So,
okay,
lock and load.
All right.
Okay, our knight needs some arrow action, David. Got my logo.
why not go a bit further?
Oh, that made him blink.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been great. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I've had a really good day, actually.
Yeah, me too. It's been good fun.
Filming this and filming other things. Yeah. So thank you. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, don't forget we've got the other second channel where it's more niche content, and we've got Patreon for both of us, I think, which is fantastically useful to keep doing what we do. And then don't forget, Arrows vs Armour 3 is coming up. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you sign up to our newsletters on the website. You'll love those too. See you again. Thank you, guys.